talking about you, been thinking about you. How was that experience for you to watch that last night, if you did?
I thought it was super powerful. It gives it sheds light on a very tough day in the sport and in the game, and you really get to appreciate not only just the players but also the staff that is involved with this process because it's hard. It's not just hard on us; it's also hard on them because at the end of the day, they're humans as well.
So you have a relationship with Ryan Poles and with the Bears that goes back a few years here. I mean, you were on the practice squad in 22, on injured reserve in 23. This is not a 3.5 week training camp relationship that was playing out as we watch this. I don't know if people understand this stuff runs deep with you and them.
No, absolutely. I've been able to spend some really good parts of my career, I guess you could say, in Chicago since 22. It's actually been one of the longest places I've spent time at since I left San Francisco in 19. So it was a special place for sure.
Adrian, I think a lot of fans were really surprised to see Ryan Poles be so vulnerable with you in that moment. Were you surprised by the emotion he showed?
No, absolutely not. I think when you get a chance to spend time with a person that is not just a number and don't view themselves as just a number, it's easy to root for them. Like you show up and you be yourself and you make plays. It's hard not to root for somebody that does that. So when you create a bond outside of just being on the field, making plays and being a person and getting to know people overall, like he does, of course it's gonna hurt when you have to make a hard decision like that.
Did you feel like you got to know him over these last 3 years? Tell us about him a little bit.
Absolutely. Ryan finally shot in the 80s this year. Golf game, his golf game. Been trying to get in the 70s now. So that's a challenge as most of us people that are new into golf and play it on a non-professional level know. Man, he's got beautiful kids at home. He's played in the league, and I mean, he was with Kansas City for 13 years. He started there, and he learned from some really great executives that has helped put him in the position that he's in today to run an organization, a great organization like Chicago Bears.
It's been a circuitous route in your career, Adrian, and a lot of different places. Like with San Francisco for the first several years of your career, like you mentioned, but then a little bit in Seattle and Miami and the Chiefs and the Giants. I'm not sure like how deep some of those relationships were or whatever, but you know of what you speak when you talk about an organization and seeing what it appears you have seen here. Because it seems like the Bears are building something pretty special from a culture perspective. It feels like they at least care about that for real.
No, absolutely, and you can see it over the last 2 years, just with the play, and I mean, just the level of play. Like once you collaborate with players, like from a front office standpoint, where it's not just we're running the ship, whereas we're collaboratively running the ship. We're doing this together versus y'all are just going to do what we tell y'all to do and we expect y'all to go out and play just because we're paying you. It doesn't work like that in a business. Like businesses are often ran like locker rooms. Like collaboration leads to productivity, and that's how they run it over in Chicago. And that's like one of the things you can appreciate about it as a player.
Adrian, what do the next couple of weeks and really months look like for you, or what do you hope they look like?
Right now, I'm just being extremely grateful for just the time that I do have, because like I have a son who lives in Connecticut, so I actually have been able to spend some time with him, which I hadn't been able to do in the last month. So just being present and obviously training and working on some other projects that I have going on off the field, but off always being ready for that next call, because I mean, I know what I can do. I mean, I showed it all throughout training camp. I showed it in the preseason games that I played in. I'm more than capable to go out and play for a team and contribute in a positive way, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
We can see obviously how difficult it was for Ryan to make that call when it comes to you. So clearly, you know, another team I think is going to need you. I want to know what your thoughts on this Bears secondary that's in place and some of the guys that you got to know, what that could look like.
That's a special secondary. It's a special room, led by special men, from the coaches to the veteran players in the locker room. You know, Kevin Byard is going to be a great and has been a great addition to that defense and to that secondary, just with his veteran presence and his knowledge of the game and just like his playmaking ability. And, you know, being able to come in and, you know, be a tandem with Jaquan, who's going to be a really good player in this league, with his ability to go out and make plays, hit, and attack the ball. And then obviously, you know, everybody knows Jalen Johnson, Tree, he gonna ball. And he shows that week after week. And then, you know, you got Tariq, you got Reek, you got Smitty, you got all the guys, you got Spider-Man, even the guys from the special teams, Jalen Johnson, Josh Blackwell. I mean, that is a stable in the secondary, and it's going to be really special this year.
Yeah, it seems like it's a deep group, man. You know, we're talking to Adrian Colbert. I got to tell you, I got a soft spot for safeties in the NFL, because especially like what aging safeties. Not that you're old. What are you, 30 years old, man?
Yeah.
I mean. But like in this league, you get squeezed out, especially at that position. It's like the running back position for the defense. Feel like you guys get squeezed out. And it's like, and so when we get to know you and enjoy you on top of how I feel generally, I'm like waking up every day. Did Colbert get signed yet? Did Colbert get signed yet? Like, I'm checking the news.
Recent searches on my Twitter feed. I'm like, it's Adrian Colbert. Who's going to sign him?
We're genuinely, we've been rooting for you. It's easy. You're an easy guy to root for.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Any calls, or do you reach out and make calls? Your agent reach out? Like, how does it work in a moment like this?
I think just the agent reaches out, or teams that, you know, and it won't happen now. Like players are healthy. Teams are going into this week with their 53-man roster, and I think typically how it works is after about like week 3 or 4, players, you know, unfortunate part of the game, like players get hurt, and, you know, in this league you're expendable unless you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars, like, which not many players are. You're expendable, and you get hurt, and they got to find somebody to come and play. And, you know, I'll be available, but I'm not waiting on it. I have a life outside the ball, and a life that keeps me fulfilled, and I'm grateful for that. It allows me to go out and make plays. It allows me to come in and, you know, be the same person I am every single day. With gratitude and love.
You're talking to a couple of people that are also meditators. I have recently started meditating as part of my morning routine as of like last week. Speaks, you're a meditator.
I am a meditator. Someone changed my mind about it, Adrian, when they called it a practice. It feels so much better to think of it as a practice, because it's hard to do it perfectly, and you can't try to do it perfectly, right?
Absolutely.
So what were you doing with those bowls,
the sound,
or the vases? Was that a sound bath? Tell us about that.
Those are my quartz bowls. I play them to meditate, play them to ground myself. I also play them to just cleanse the energy in the space and around me. It's just one of my tools that I use to, you know, stay present, to stay grounded in the moment. And it's relaxing. Like who wouldn't want to be relaxed, like all throughout the day, like to where you can just go and flow, versus feeling like you're being rigid all day and anxious. And, you know, flow fits me better.
There it is.
This is the sound. Yeah. We grabbed the sound from the episode. We might just play it for listeners every once in a while.
It's really inspiring. You're a really inspiring person and player. Adrian, I have to tell you, so our paths have crossed a little bit, I think in Miami, but I was telling our listeners, I'm just kind of filling in on this show today, but my first TV market out of college when I came into local news was Wichita Falls, and I worked for Tobin McDuff, which is your hometown, I know. And it was so crazy to me watching your episode because they're telling the story of your accident when you were a kid, and I hear my former sports director's voice doing the news in Wichita Falls telling your story, and it was just such this very kind of inspiring sort of full circle moment for me to kind of get to tell your story now here in Chicago. And I just can promise you so many people are rooting for you. You can count us in too.
I appreciate that. I'm so grateful. The universe brings you full circle often. And, it's great to be on the other side of it and to, be a part of this full circle moment.
Tell us a little bit about that. So you were 9 years old and this football star, and you talked about it in the episode. There was an accident. You were told you'd never play again. And were you a running back again after that, or did you move to defense, or was it a long road for you coming back to get to where you were eventually playing at Texas?
Yeah, yes and no. As the kids do, you get hurt and you don't really take time because you don't understand or have the awareness to, process things like that, process trauma. So I was able to just get back to it. I literally got home because I had to learn how to walk again. It took me 5 days to learn how to walk when I was in the hospital. Because, being in the bed, your muscles, being in the bed for almost 2 weeks, your muscles start to atrophy and functional movement was hard to get back into. But after I got out of the hospital, I hopped on a bike 2 weeks later, and I was playing football the next year because when you're a kid, somebody tells you can't do something or you're not going to be able to do something. It goes into your subconscious and you just go as your body allows you to. And my body allowed me to go back to being a kid. I was fortunate for that. And, I kept playing football. I played running back up until my freshman year of high school. And then I got moved to defense and played all of defense until going into my senior year, where I was finally able to play a little bit of offense. Then I ended up getting recruited after winning state and track to Texas, and went to Texas and enjoyed that. My junior year, redshirted my freshman year. My junior year, redshirt junior year, my coach at the time had told me that I wasn't going to make it to the NFL. I didn't have it. I didn't have the, I guess, I didn't say skill set. I just didn't have the mind for it. And my coach wasn't going to extend my scholarship. So I transferred to Miami, where the coaches believed in me, my work ethic, and my ability to play. And, ended up getting drafted.
Man, it's
incredible.
How many moments could Adrian Colbert have given up on an NFL life? You know? And you refused to do so. We have a guest at 5 o'clock, Dave Wanstead. Coach Dave Wanstead just walked in and handed me his championship ring from Miami. Oh, sorry, four times a champ, and just wanted to. He's proud of you from the U perspective, from the Miami perspective.
Oh, come on, baby! It's all about the U.
All about the U. And I worked in Miami before I was here. Covered the U. It looks like it could be a fun year for them, Adrian.
Hey. I would love to see both of my schools just have the wildest success this year and make it to the playoffs. That'd be crazy.
How many people around the NFL meditate like you do, try to ground themselves, putting the feet on the grass like you do? How popular is it, you think?
I don't know. I'm sure some people do it. I know our last walkthrough, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but I probably don't care. But we kind of got in trouble because there was 12 of us with our shoes off. and normally I do it every walkthrough. it was just, we got in trouble because everybody was, it was like multiple people doing it, and coach was,
Look at you.
Everyone wants to be like you,
You're
me included.
Turning people
like,
on. Yeah.
like, nah, this ain't it.
So, oh, come on.
That's great.
So who did it?
Give us one name.
Give us one name of somebody who got the feel for that, because that's a good thing to try and do.
And hey, we don't say names.
Okay, no, all right, no snitching. Okay.
All right, we'll get it off the air. Adrian Colbert, hey, thanks so much for answering the phone. Thanks for talking with us. You got a whole town that really fell for you, man. So maybe you'll be back here, but wherever you go, you got fans in Chicago. That's for sure.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate y'all's time. Shoot, I appreciate Chicago. Chicago's top two cities in the country for me. I have grown to love that place, and I wouldn't mind coming back.
There we go.
All right,
man. We'll be in touch. Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks, Adrian.
Have a good one. Appreciate
you too. You too. That's Adrian.